Good morning, everyone. This is Coach Al from Slamma Jamma Basketball Clinics. I'm going to talk to you today about dribbling. Before I get into any of our drills, I just want to reinforce to you that if you practice your dribbling 15 minutes a day, working on your strong hand, which for most of us is our right hand, and also working on your weaker hand, that will definitely make you a better dribbler. The game has changed immensely since I have played. No matter what size, meaning height, or position that you play in basketball, the better ball handler you are, the more proficient ball handler you are with either hand, the harder it is for you to be guarded by a defender, and the more opportunity it will give you to play, because as I said, no matter how tall you become, the game now is a game that you are facing the basket to play. It's a perimeter game, not a back to the basket type game. So if you can go by your defender using your right hand or your left hand, you are a much harder person to guard, and that defender really has to be on their toes to make sure that you don't go by either way. You want the basketball to feel like it's part of your body, an extension of your arms and your hands. Dribbling a basketball is to be done with your fingertips and not with your palms. You want to push the ball, and sometimes people call it bat the ball to the floor with your fingertips, which means you need to have strong fingertips, strong hands, and your arms need to be strong too, especially if you're going to be one of those players that is going to be a primary or secondary ball handler on the team that basically runs the whole show. Okay, so again, work on your right hand, work on your left hand, whatever hand is your strong hand. If you're left-handed, work on your right hand more. If you're right-handed, work on your left hand more. The first few things I'm going to show you, and I'm just going to cover the basics today. The first few things I'm going to show you are drills that you can do with the ball, not dribbling it, just with the ball in your hand, okay? One of the things is passing the ball back and forth and having the ball just be on your fingertips. You can do this. I always used to do it until I was tired, okay? Now that is what your stamina enables you to do, and each day you should try to do it a little bit longer. So today I may do that for 30 seconds. Tomorrow I try to do it for 35 seconds or 40 seconds. Push yourself to do it a little bit longer, okay? Another good drill is the wrap around the waist drill. Now, if you notice, I am doing it to my right, okay? That's what I feel most comfortable with. Passing the ball from my left to my right hand in front of my body, back and forth. Do that for a time, and then do it going backwards. Now, you're going to see a difference here now. Some people will have a little bit more difficulty going one way than they are going the other way. Okay? Do that again. 30 seconds, 40 seconds, each direction. Try to improve upon that each day so that you're spending a little bit more time. Again, you want the ball to feel like it's an extension of your body. Another good drill is to hold the ball over your head and flick it back and forth on your fingertips. Everything I'm doing is fingertips. Every drill I've done so far are fingertips. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Do it in front, do it in front. Go back over the top, back over the top. And continue that. Again, at your own pace, trying to push yourself a little bit further each day so that you are continually trying to improve. Go at your own pace. Fast doesn't mean good. Under control is the most important thing. Not to get off track a little bit, but you'll notice, or you maybe can tell, I'm in my garage. We live in the Northeast. We're lucky now the weather's good. I can go outside and do it, but when you can't go outside, you may want to do it in your garage. Just because it gets cold outside does not mean that we don't need to practice. Someone is practicing somewhere, and you're in competition for that position with that player. You want to make sure you're practicing too. Now, if you have a garage, you can go out in your garage, dress appropriately, and still do all these drills. Maybe down in your basement you could do these drills. I'm not sure you want to do these drills inside your house. Talk to your parents first, because I don't want to see you break anything like I may have done when I was younger. But adapt to the weather. Just because the weather is bad does not mean that you can't work out. Another way of strengthening your hands is, even while you're watching TV, or if you're on the computer with one hand, get a tennis ball, a handball, any kind of ball that you can squeeze, and squeeze it to what we call failure. Squeeze it until you can't squeeze it anymore, until it gets too hard for you to squeeze it. Then put the ball in the other hand and squeeze it with the other hand and go back and forth. By doing that, you're going to be strengthening your fingertips, you're going to be strengthening your forearms, and you're also going to be building up the stamina in your arms, so that you would be able to go out and dribble this ball during a game for the majority part of the game. Again, especially if you're going to be in that point guard position, or a primary ball handler on the team, so that you're going to be able to dribble for an extended period of time. So just these 3 drills I showed you, just do these until you feel confident that you're building up your arm strength, you're building up your hand strength, and you're becoming stronger and able to do all those, that extended period of time. Now I'm going to try to show you as best I can here. Basketball is a fingertip sport game. The ball should never touch your palm, whether you're passing it, shooting it, or dribbling it. It might tap it a little bit in this area right here, but the hand doesn't really touch the ball. It's the fingertips that touch the ball. So when you're dribbling the ball, you're actually pushing the ball to the floor with your fingertips, okay? The ball is touching this area right here, and it's floating off of your fingertips. And that's why I showed you those drills, because it makes your fingertips get stronger, you get more confident, and rest assured, you push the ball to the floor, on a basketball floor or on a smooth surface, that ball is going to come straight up. And that gets to my next point. You want to do these drills, even the ones I just showed you, without looking at the ball. If you're looking at the ball while you're dribbling during the game, you cannot see your teammates, and you cannot see the defensive player that you're playing against. And if you can't see them, you're not going to be able to see them when they try to steal that ball from you, okay? So you want to be sure that you are not looking at the ball. Now, how can I make sure I do that? All right, they do sell glasses at sporting goods stores that have a piece of plastic that stick out. So when you're doing this while you're dribbling the ball, if your head is in this position, you're doing it wrong. You want your head to be facing forward at whatever level you're on. When you're down here, forward. If you're straight up and down, forward. So instead of going to the store and maybe buying a set of those glasses, what I used to do, and I did this with my children, when they were learning how to dribble, even an old pair of sunglasses, buy a non-prescription pair of glasses, and what you could do is put some tape, like a duct tape or a masking tape, on the bottom of the lens, low enough so that you can see forward, but you can't see down. So if you find yourself doing this, you're doing it wrong. If you find yourself doing this, you're doing it wrong. Now, does that mean that you can't take a peek down once in a while? Absolutely not. You could take a peek down as many times as you want. While you're dribbling the ball, you take a look down, but you're going to become so confident by just practicing 10 to 15 minutes a day, you won't look down at all. You'll be surprised how fast you get better at dribbling a basketball. Okay? So a set of glasses like that, don't put your head down, look forward. Now, getting back to what I was talking about, a fingertip control ball. Okay, we did all our drills, we did all that stuff, we're nice and loose now, okay? Take the ball, stand straight up and down, and just start pushing the ball to the floor. And if you could see where the ball, if you slow this down, you'll see that the ball's coming up and is only touching this part of my fingers. And I'm pushing the ball to the floor that way there. Okay, I'm right-handed, so I'm a much better dribbler with my right hand than with my left hand. If I turn around and do it with my left hand also, I'm doing the same thing. I'm pushing the ball to the floor this way here with my left hand, but with my fingertips. Okay, I've got control of it all the time. I'm on a nice surface. I don't need to look down, but I can without looking down. I'm looking straight at my camera. I can see that ball as I'm looking at the camera going all the way to the floor, and I can see it bouncing all the way up. You'll be able to do the same thing, and that means you won't be doing this, because if you're doing this, you're doing it wrong. If you're doing this, you're doing it wrong. We probably all played with that player on our team at one time. You're wide open and you're going like this, throw me the ball, throw me the ball, throw me the ball. And they got a little game going on all by themselves here. They can't pass it to anybody because they can't see the person because they're looking at the ball. As you progress up in age and start playing for teams, that playing time is not guaranteed. A person like that could be the best ball dribbler around, ball handler around. Probably not going to play because they can't see their teammates, they can't see the defender. So you don't want to be one of those, okay? So, practice your dribbling, and I'd like to say, do it, and I'm going to say this sometimes to failure, and what failure means, if I say failure, means you're just tired with your right hand, switch it over to your left hand, and dribble like this. Notice, the ball's coming up right over here. My hand is always on top of the ball. I'm not doing this. You don't want to dribble like that. You want to keep it nice and low here, okay? This kind of dribble I'm doing now is what we call a dribble where you're not closely guarded. If you're going to be closely guarded, which means someone's going to come up to you and challenge you on defense within 3 or 4 feet, you can't dribble the ball like this. You because the longer it takes for the ball to go to the floor and come back up to your hand, the easier it is for them to steal. So we're going to do what's a closely guarded dribble. So now as they come closer, now I bend my knees, I go down in my position, and now the ball is closer to the floor, and you can tell just by listening to the ball that it's hitting the floor more frequently. It's still only being dribbled with my fingertips, believe it or not touching my palm, okay? And because I'm closely guarded, you notice I picked up my left hand and I put it out here like this, so I could kind of hold that defender off, all right? Just dribble like this, okay? Then switch over to your left hand and dribble like this, off of your fingertips. Now I'm staying stationary. Feel free to do this and move around. Feel free to do it as much as you want, because as you know, you're not going to be standing in one spot. You're going to be dribbling to your left, you're going to be dribbling to your right. That's why I'm doing it with both hands. Do it like in sets. Maybe sets of 3, for as long as you can do until failure. Maybe you might do it for a minute today, tomorrow you do it for a minute and 10 seconds, and you start building up and building up. You're doing a dribble that's not closely guarded, right hand. That's not closely guarded, left hand. Then closely guarded, right hand. Closely guarded, left hand. Moving around back and forth. Like I said, you could tell it's pretty noisy. So get the okay by going in the basement or being in the garage, or for the next few months, because it's going to be nice weather out here, be doing it outside. Shooting's not the only part. This is an extremely, extremely important part, okay? So practice it, practice it, practice it. As you get proficient, as you're getting better and better, challenge yourself to make some moves. Behind the back, between the legs, and different kinds of moves. I will go over some of those when I do my next video with you, just some basic moves. You don't need a lot of moves. Really, if you got 2 is more than enough. You don't need too many, but you want to be able to make those moves going to your right and going to your left, because you want to challenge that defender. You don't want that defender to know what you can do, because again, as you move up into the middle school, into high school, and maybe some of you are fortunate enough to play on that next level in college, you're going to be scouted. And they're going to be able to turn around and tell their teammates, tell their players, he cannot go to his right side, he's all left-handed. Or she cannot go to her left side, she's all right-handed. And you don't want to be stereotyped as that type of player. You want to have more tools, and again, you need to be able to do everything that I went over with you, looking straight ahead and not looking down at the floor, okay? It's practice, practice, practice. It makes no difference what kind of weather it is. I know it sounds crazy. Dress appropriately, work on the ball handling, become a better player with your ball handling. The next video I'll do, I will put in some fancy, if you want to call it that, kind of cute moves that you can do. I know we can't watch the NBA now or watch college now because of the situation we're in now, but if you watch any of the old games on TV, always watch players. Watch to see what they do to get themselves to be better players off of the dribble or with the dribble, and try to mimic what they do. Don't worry if you bounce the ball off your foot. We all have. If you bounce the ball off your foot, go and get it and do it again. Don't be discouraged. Nobody was born to be a proficient ball handler. Everybody practiced it. Even when I went and played in college, we practiced the same drills that we practiced when I was in high school. Okay? So don't be afraid to challenge yourself to be as good at the game as you can be, just the way you should be challenging yourself to be as good at school as you can be. Practice, practice, and practice some more. Okay? I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you.